To this day, the reports state no signs of life for 90 minutes, no pulse, no breathing, a sheet over his face. But something went wrong, or rather, went differently. At the moment when everything was supposed to end, for him, everything was just beginning. This isn't just a story about clinical death. This is a story about what happens when the heart stops, but the soul continues moving forward. He says, "I stood in front of the gate. It wasn't a metaphor, it was a real gate, majestic, golden, with a light that cannot be described. It didn't just shine, it embraced." Don Piper describes it not as a dream or a fantasy. He says, "It was more real than reality. I heard singing, but it wasn't sound like on earth. It was thousands of voices in harmony, like music you've known your whole life, though you've never heard it before. And I recognized them, people, faces, those I had lost long ago, my grandfather, friends, those who had already gone. All of them, alive, without pain, without illness, without fear, with peace in their eyes and a gaze that said more than 1,000 words. We've been waiting for you." He doesn't remember the moment of death, but he remembers the moment of presence, where there is no time, where love is not an emotion, but the atmosphere. "I didn't want to come back, not because my life was bad, but because that place, it was home finally, not because he believed in a miracle, but simply because he felt he had to." The prayer rose over the lifeless body. And suddenly, an explosion. Dawn returned. He woke up with a broken body, but with a soul that already knew more. He endured dozens of surgeries, a year in excruciating pain. But from that moment on, his life had a completely different meaning, because he had already been there. And now, he had something to say. He didn't scream about hell. He didn't paint heaven as a resort. He simply said, "I'm not afraid anymore. I know, and this is not the end. This is the return. This is not darkness. This is light. Only we can't see it from this side." He was accused of making it all up, mocked. But millions read his book 90 Minutes in Heaven, and for some it became the first breath of hope after loss. For others, a confirmation that death does not have the final word, and for someone, a revelation that perhaps the most important part is still ahead. And if you've read this far, maybe this message is for you too. After Don Piper regained consciousness, everything he saw felt foreign. Many people asked him, did he see angels? Did he see streets of gold? And he answered, yes. But that's not the point, because even the most magnificent images they're just the backdrop. The main thing is love. It fills every part. There's no evil. Not even the memory of pain remains. Everything was whole. And that's what brought him back to life, not the desire to see the world again, but the desire to speak about the other one, because someone who has seen the light cannot remain silent. At first he couldn't speak. Then he couldn't walk, but his heart was already running ahead. The years of recovery became years of understanding, and every pain, every sleepless night, every tear was like a testimony that he was still here for a reason.